The only thing that bothered me about it, because they taped it and I saw it, there was a lieutenant that came out and he said, well, if y'all are carrying your weapons, people get scared by that. Well, that's disorderly conduct, and that's just not the way the law reads.
He said, let us know you're coming out, take your clip out, put a zip tie through the chamber.
Well, clip goes in your hair. What's it got a clip in? Carrying them on your hands?
I don't know,
You
man.
are a weapons guy.
I don't know, man. You know, and I'm like, really, guy? So, all right.
That was the only thing that irritated me. But that, I mean, I'll be honest with you, that really bothered me because that's
well,
not the way that
it's the tickets for cussing
too. It has nothing to do with somebody else's reaction.
Yeah, it does.
The way not really. I've got it printed out in the truck. I can show you. It reads if you are carrying the weapon in a manner calculated.
Correct.
To alarm,
No,
which means you have to calculate your actions to alarm. If your actions are calculated to educate or acclimate or just to exercise your rights, then any alarm that happens is an unfortunate byproduct. It's a side effect, and therefore it's perfectly legal.
If you're logically thinking, if you go to Bexar County prosecutor, I'm telling you, and we do the same way. They can say injury to an officer, and I go over there and try to present it to the DA.
Right.
It won't matter. They want to see blood, me bleeding. Well, the penal code says nothing about me getting hurt and showing blood. This says an injury to an officer, and I'm saying hurt. So it's
that would be a bruise. That would be a
Bexar County law is different. That's what I'm saying. They'll take it differently.
Yeah.
So just don't put yourself in that position. Let us know. Like if they told you, let them know. And apparently the lieutenant knew about it. Somebody they called and told me.
We don't ask permission.
We didn't tell anybody.
We don't ask permission to do what we do.
Well, I'll tell you.
It's about rights.
I'll tell you why.
You know we're going to flex those rights.
It's I'm with Open Carry Texans, and when we were really we got the open carry law passed, but when we were building up to that, we had a policy we would call SAPD, we would call HPD, we'd call Dallas Fort Worth, we'd call them all. As we were trying, but that's because we weren't really trying to do anything with the officers. We were trying to influence the public. We needed to gather support. But it slowly began to dawn on us that police departments were actually getting used to us calling in advance. Now ask yourself this question. If you have to call the police in advance and say, hey guys, I'm going to go and do something that is not only perfectly legal, but constitutionally guaranteed, it's not really a right anymore.
It's a nice car.
No,
it really isn't.
Like I said, I'm big into guns, and I'll disagree a little bit with that. But let me ask you this. Why do y'all choose to do it over here on the east side where we have all this shooting?
We have been so far today.
Let me answer that question.
Well, go ahead.
So primarily we do First Amendment. We go out and we film. We get a lot of slack. We've been arrested for that. Simply filming. I'm not joking if you look at the channel. So I went out to Bexar County Fleet Maintenance. I'm open carrying out on Seguin Road. I'm filming Bexar County Maintenance. I had 12 SAPD cars, 3 Bexar County Sheriffs, a helicopter, 7 AR-15s. Everything was going fine. Everything was going perfect. I'm not going to question the response. Respond how you will. But once you determine what I'm doing, why are you guys still out here, number one? Number two, so obviously there's just a problem there because now you're just sitting there watching me, hoping I do something. If I turn around and walk off, I walk out about 25 feet. Texas law says if you cross other than a crosswalk, you have to yield right away to vehicles. Outside the business district, which is the highways that surround downtown, your jaywalking ordinance doesn't apply out there. It's very clear, black and white. That's the business district. I walk 25 feet this way, or 25 yards rather. I cross the street. Come here, you're jaywalking. Oh, no, I'm not. Now you're jaywalking. Give me your ID. I'm not going to give it to you. So he took me down for jaywalking, and he also charged me with failure to yield right away to a vehicle when crossing the road. Well, we got two cameras hidden. Go in the vehicle on the site. So those are the problems. So that's what stemmed everything. We said, okay, we got an officer willing to fabricate that there were cars in the roadway.
But if you were a cop, where were you cop at?
Bexar County and Travis County.
So why do you do what you do? Is what I'm asking. I'm trying to understand. That's all.
Because there are officers such as this that we have proof beyond reason that there was no vehicles in that roadway, and he's saying that there were. And he didn't take it serious yet, but when it gets into court, and it just shows that he fabricated that stuff. Because there are officers like that, we have a need to be out here to catch those officers and get rid of them. So officers like yourself can go about your business and not keep running across people that are predisposed about you when you walk up because of stuff like that officer did. And so that's what we do. When we catch those guys doing bad on camera, we move them on. Get out.
I'll tell you why it matters so much to me, and this is just it. When I was a little kid, my uncle he very rarely talked about World War II, but he told me a few things. And I told these guys the same thing earlier. This is where it comes from. He was in the 19th Combat Engineers, across North Africa, up to Sicily, across the boot to Italy, and up Italy.
Sure.
And he told me about a battle that he was in, and he really wasn't in it. He was supporting it, at the Rapido River. So he's in the engineers. They go up, they put the pontoon boats together, they try to get bridges put out, but they've got to assault the other side of this river. And there's the Germans over there with MG-42s. His unit and the other engineers were in charge of getting the boats in the water and getting them ready to go.
Yes, sir.
The boys are climbing into the boats and literally pulling their wallet, their wristwatch, and handing it up to him and his guy saying, look, if I don't make it, make sure this gets back to my family. Those boys did not get into that boat and go to the other side of the river where there were nothing but MG-42s waiting on them. Just so later on, somebody could make something up. Now, before I go any further, I need to tell you, I come from a law enforcement family. All the men in my family, literally about 75% of them, either were or still are law enforcement. Sure. Cousin Steve Carr, HPD, 22 years. Floyd Nettles, HPD, I don't know how, almost 30 years, I think. ML Mayo, HPD, and then after he retired, he went to work for Pasadena Police Department in their forgery division. My cousin,
I told him on the radio I was out here, so they're just checking on me. That's all.
My cousin Bruce Carr was 30 some odd years with Harris County, and then he retired about a year ago, moved out to Lakey, ran for sheriff. Now he's the sheriff of Real County.
Nice.
When I was a kid, my great uncle Joe Sherman was the sheriff of Polk County. I mean, I come from a family of real officers of the law.
Sure.
And so you showed me a good cop. I'll back that guy to the hilt. I'll get out in the street beside him with my gun if I have to. It's when you get a guy that starts bending the law and twisting it up and doing, and you guys are in the locker room, man. You've seen it. I know you've seen it because it's everywhere. Cops are human too. You're going to get a few bad apples at the barrel. I know you've come across a bad apple. It's that guy.
So y'all are after the bad cops?
Yes.
Well, it's not so much that we're after the bad cops. I am out to exercise my constitutional rights that those boys got into that boat and went across to those machine guns for.
No, he's with Open
At
Carry,
the same
Texas.
time, if I happen to run across,
You're not?
No, he's with Open Carry, Texas. They have kind of a different,
A little bit
exactly what
different,
he's
but-
saying.
But what it comes down to is, in the process of exercising my rights, if I happen to come across a guy that is disgracing that badge, yeah, that guy, yes, I have a problem with him,
You
and
get
I'd
him on
like to
down the
see
road.
him.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'd like to see him flipping burgers right over there at Jack in the Box instead of having that badge on, because that badge and that patch on you, I'm supposed to mean something.
I agree, 100%.
And to the guys that it means nothing to the guys that joined for the power,
Yes,
rather than the power to do some good, yeah. When I run across one, yeah.
I was just curious, like I didn't understand why y'all were doing it, because I wouldn't want someone to know what I have.
Right.
We
That's
hold
my
good. We hold good officers like yourselves way up here. We don't tolerate that stuff being tarnished.
Sure.
We don't
Right.
tolerate it.
And by the way, we've been here. How many did we run across the first time? We were over by the airport. SAPD came down, drove past, checked us out. We're listening on the scanners. Didn't even stop. Guy cleared us. Yeah, these guys are just out here exercising their rights, carrying cameras and guns. No big deal. Didn't even stop. Cleared us. Took off.
Sure.
A couple of airport guys came over. They stopped. They parked. They walked over. What's going on, guys? We got a call. We're just talking to you. Didn't ask for names, IDs. Didn't want to check the gun. Nothing.
Sure.
Great guys. I mean, and by the way, those videos are going on YouTube.
Awesome.
Those
Yeah, we do the
videos
good
are going
ones, too.
okay,
Good
and it
positive
was.
videos.
Look here. This is Martinez
thank
and
you, sir.
Cantone. If you want to know how to do it right, talk to them because they know. So then we go over to Hollywood Park. We go over there. We're doing the same thing, walking around. Hollywood Park officer Huff something or other, I can't remember, and Pineda and Salinas show up. And then there was another officer from a neighboring small town.
Hill Country.
They did it right. I mean, I haven't run into a bad officer out here.
Good.
Have not run into a
I'm glad to
single
hear
bad one. And that's important.
Definitely.
You know, it's not a baiting thing. We're not out here trying to get you guys to act up. What we are trying to do is exercise our rights, First Amendment, Second Amendment, and all the rest of the amendments, because people died for that. And then in the process, if we happen to come across a rotten apple, yeah,
Sure.
we want him out of the barrel.
Fair enough. What have y'all done as far as contingency in case someone attacks y'all? Because like I said, we've had a lot of shootings.
Oh, we had about 5 other people out
We
here
got more
earlier.
people around. most
They're
of the time.
gone.
Oh yeah.
Good.
We
get
had
security.
cameras
Okay.
set up.
I was just
and-
curious what y'all do in case, like I said, somebody else came up.
Right.
Because we had a shooting. I was on the porch when they heard it down the road. We caught the guy back behind me.
We had one guy drive by us and
prepared.
yell, "Fuck Trump."
That
happened
we
about
do,
an hour ago.
We do make sure we're prepared
Yeah.
in case somebody takes a shot or something like that.
To directly answer your question, well, I carry a riot gun. I've got 8 rounds of triple-aught buck, so if he attacks me, he better get me with the first shot. Otherwise, I'm going to pepper his ass.
Like I said, I ain't trying to get on y'all's case. I was
No,
just
no, I
they
understand.
tell me y'all were out here. I was like, I wonder what y'all actually were doing. So I
Right.
appreciate it.
Well, you know, and
No, we enjoy
carry
these kind of
Texans,
conversations too.
Yeah,
With
let
police
me tell
officers
you.
that will listen.
When we run
and
across the good
discuss
ones, we
these
want to
things.
talk to them.
Yeah.
We want to hang out with them. It's
In
we're all
honesty-
on the same team. The only difference between you and me is what you decided to do for a living and what I decided to do. But
Yes, sir.
when you get right down to it,
Well, I think when it first came out, there was
You
a
were
lot
out here
of
that night.
No, I wasn't.
No,
I was off
you
that
look
night.
familiar.
there was a lot of questions when it first came out.
There's a guy who looks like me.
Are they legal? Is it not legal? There was
I
a
think
lot
I
of
know
questions
what
even
you're
with
talking
us
about.
when they were giving it, the way it was filtering down to us. So
you know, there's a lot of
educated,
people.
uneducated.
There's some people that don't cut the officer on the street any slack. I tend to try to, just simply because I know how many law books there are and how thick the some bitches are. And the Supreme Court justices don't know every law and every nuance of every law. It's just as simple as that.
And how
So-
are they creating law?
Oh, man, let me tell you.
That was a
We
good
went.
question. I like that.
I went to Austin last legislative session 2 years ago. It's no wonder.
We smoked it.
It's no
Yeah, I got a
damn
pack in
wonder
there. I can't find it.
that it's
I bought it earlier.
the mess that it
Yeah.
is. You want to see how these people operate. It's a nest of scheming bastards. I'm talking about backroom, smoke-filled sweetheart deals,
I want no
brother-in-law shit going on. Well, but the problem is, you are in the business
Yes, sir.
of dealing with the horse shit that they are cranking out.
I agree. That's why I'm glad we got PAC committees. I don't.
Man,
I don't. I don't have the temper for it or the mouth.
if the law were clear, easy to understand, concise, it's got to be small, man. Who in the hell can read a stack of books this tall and know every damn thing in
Our
it?
detective test that way we're studying.
Not yet.
There's like 4 books of this thing just to be a DI. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And I guarantee you that's about 10% of the actual law knowledge there is to be had.
agree.
Well, shit.
It sucks.
It does.
It's hard to
So-
keep track of what's changing and stuff. So.
Right.
Listen, I was just curious. I didn't mean to get on y'all's case or anything like that. I wasn't trying that. I was
We
just
didn't take it that way.
We didn't tell you that. You did it right.
But we get the cameras out because we never know.
curious. Hey, we got ours.
And these good reactions are good for the videos too because they don't show as much, but we want to show it to the people that are following us because the people that follow us are interested in seeing the good ones too.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of people that come in that don't follow us, and they see it. And they don't want to see the good cop. They want to see the bad cop.
Yes, sir.
There's plenty of that.
I shoot all over the country, literally, coast to coast, border to border.
Right.
But I
See a lot of
guarantee you,
different
most
stuff
of our
nice.
supporters
Oh, yeah.
want to see the good cops out there, and they want
appreciate
and they
that.
get on us if we don't show the good cop.
And I appreciate that. We
Well,
need
that's
that.
what gives the honest picture.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's
Bad
a
ones, we
certain
wanna
percentage
expose
that
those.
are good. There's a certain percentage that are bad.
Yes.
It doesn't do you any good if all you're showing is the cop that screws up and wants and he's on a power trip. If that's all anybody ever sees, well, then they think that's all that the cops are.
Agreed.
They think it's just like in some third world country where an officer on the beat really is the god of his jurisdiction
Yes, sir.
and can do whatever he wants to do. They think that's the way it is. When you show both sides of that coin,
And we appreciate that.
then people, well, I mean, it's only fair.
Definitely.
It's
we
only
appreciate
fair.
it because a lot of times it's not done.
Well, and that's one of the things that's got to be fixed because if
Yes,
you
sir.
walked up to us and did it right, you deserve for people to know you did it right.
I appreciate that.
It's as simple as it's only right. I mean,
Definitely. Well, if we
When
can
you-
help you, like I said, if you, especially us here, we have a lot of problems. Just let
Right.
us know you're going to be in the parking lot or something. Just come in and tell me, or whoever's working.
I don't mind doing that. I
just
really,
because
I
they
don't
come in
mind
and start,
saying,
hey, there's
hey,
a guy with a gun.
you know,
So
tell
it
you
makes
guys to
sense.
calm down. I don't like the idea of having to call SAPD and say in advance, I'm gonna go not break the law.
No, you don't have to.
I don't like doing that. But
It does help us if you did.
I
I'm just saying
know,
that.
and
Yeah,
we-
just
and-
not the SAPD so much, but just the substation. 'Cause
Right.
we'll get
You're gonna get
bombarded
tons
with
of calls. I know.
But
because
then those bad cops that would have been misbehaved won't show
but
up.
here's the flip side
most
of
of
they
that.
them-
won't do what
most
they-
of us don't get the information.
Yeah.
But
That's
here's
the
here's the flip side of that. At some point in time, it's got to back up the chain to whoever's answering the phone, whether it's a dispatch or a substation or the 911 or whatever.
I agree.
It's got to get to the point where they say, okay, well, what are they doing with these guns?
And they're
Are they
starting that,
are they
actually.
walking around? Are they pointing them at people, or are they just
Would they ever
about
receive the
life?
training? That's actually questions they're asking.
Is it really
Uh-huh.
good? Good. Because
So we're trying.
That makes
It's
all
just-
the difference in the world.
2 million people, and then we got 2,000 people in the department. It takes a while to filter.
It's a
through.
gradual.
But we're working on it.
process.
Hey, we got
Well,
time.
good. Good.
Definitely.
You know,
We just want to see change. That's
Right.
we don't have to. We can't ask
got
for it to
it.
happen overnight.
We got
so
it.
yeah.
all right.
Just got elected.
That's what I'm talking about.
Anyway, I appreciate it. Sorry to bother you. Like
Good to
I said, I'm
meet
just
you.
curious. Good to meet you, sir. Thanks for your service.
Good to
Thank
meet
you, sir.
you. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yes, sir. And like I said, if y'all are in
Good
the
to meet
parking
you.
lot,
Thank
just
you,
let
sir.
whoever. There's always security here. It's not a good HEB.
Yeah,
just
I
let
have
us
no
know.
problem
I appreciate it.
I don't see us having to come out for a long time.
No worries. And it's
We
just
got-
the only
yeah.
reason is because we get the crap around here is ridiculous. We've
We
had
had
shootings
to
today.
see-
This is the bad part of
Traffic
town. I
calms.
understand. Houston's got a couple.
Well, I
of
worked
bad
Hurricane
spots.
Ike up there. I went to Fifth Ward.
Oh.
I'm a white guy walking
You've
to the
been to
Fifth
my you've been to my buddy Quanell's neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
Do you know who Quanell
I
X
heard
is?
that name. I got told a lot.
Yeah, well, let me show you something.
Walking through there, I learned quite a bit.
There's his cell phone number if you'd ever like to call him.
Nice.
Son of a bitch. That guy. So CJ Grisham, the president of Open Carry Texas, was on a forum and he was just talking about things. And some black girl pipes up and says, "Oh, y'all are nothing but a bunch of white, racist, redneck, gun-toting sons of bitches. You wouldn't come walk through Fifth Ward." He says, "Why not?" "Well, that's a black part of town." "Okay, well, so black folks in Fifth Ward, they're Texans too. They can do
They're human like everybody
right.
else.
So damn right we would. So let's have a walk over there. Next thing I know, I get a phone call from Quanell, and man, he's hamming it up. "Oh yeah, we're going to work with you, and we're going to my brother and my friend and blah blah blah." The day before the damn march, I get a phone call from Robert Arnold at Channel 2 News, an investigative reporter. "Would you like to respond to Mr. X's comments?" "What comments?" The only comments I've had with him, which was about half an hour ago, were great. He says, "Meet me over here." So I went to Deer Park.
Yes, sir.
To the police station, and we met in the parking lot of the Deer Park, Texas police station. I jump in the back of his news van, and you wouldn't believe the shit that guy was saying
Oh, I can imagine.
on camera.
He had a goofy name. That's what I remember when you said that.
Yeah, Quanell, "We're not going to have those white men walking through the historically black part." And I'm going, "You dumb son of a bitch. You're telling me your rights are getting violated all over the place, and we're here to help you with that, and you're going to turn..." Okay, I see what you are.
It's pick and choose.
You are the televangelist of the black community.
Yes, sir.
You're the guy that's hollering, "Woe is us, I'll save you, but I need $5 to do it." That's what he's all about. He's a sorry son of a bitch. And
Yes, sir.
anyway, there's my 2 cents on that.
We had to